A jump, that's very difficult. You're strapped with over 120 pounds worth of equipment. That's not including your parachute or your reserve, so you're looking at over 200 pounds.
The door will open, you'll all be stood there, the wind outside will be 120 knots, and you've got to step out into the unknown.
Once that door opens and you feel the blast of the air, then you know it's game on. That red light comes on, then the green light, then we're off. Every man out the door.
Before you do the jump, the nerves kind of build up, but once you're at that door and you jump out of the plane, then it's a view which you won't see in your car anyway.
Once you're in, there's no going back. It is expected that you'll be fighting initially against the odds. You're expecting to encounter the unknown. A parachute has no reverse gear.
The Parachute Regiment, 1,600 soldiers.
Can you sort your problem moves left a bit?
And 128 officers divided into 3 regular battalions.
Stand by for rapid!
And a 4th made up of Territorial Army Reserves. 1 para is based in Wales and works with Special Forces on secret operations. 2 and 3 para are based in Colchester. The regiment has built its reputation on rapid deployment with minimal support and equipment. They've recently returned from Afghanistan. Their motto, ready for anything.
20!
The regiment prides itself on selecting some of the Army's brightest recruits. At Catterick Garrison in Yorkshire, they must pass one of the Army's toughest selection courses. P Company, short for Pegasus. Less than half will succeed.
P Company is the crucible which forms that self-belief that failure is not an option, the firm refusal to give up, ever.
Our nickname for other regiments is crap ass. It's been passed on from generation to generation. Because at the end of the day, we know we've handpicked other soldiers, reared them to be the best soldiers within the whole military, to be honest.
Number 7, good at case down!
The Trainasium. A 60-foot-high aerial assault course designed to test their head for heights. It's been part of their training since the paras were formed nearly 70 years ago. In World War II, Hitler's 20,000-strong force of paratroopers were at the forefront of the Nazi invasion of Europe. Churchill was impressed. In June 1940, he ordered the creation of a British unit of 5,000 paratroopers. He hoped they would one day spearhead Europe's liberation. Major Tony Hibbert was one of the first recruits.
When we started, we were totally without discipline. Life was enormous fun, but we were an absolute flower.
For training, they were given 1,000 parachutes and 6 old Whitley bombers. The Whitleys were converted by simply cutting a hole in the floor.
You had to jump through a tunnel 6 foot deep, and if you pushed yourself a little bit too far to the front, you caught your nose on the end of the tunnel and you broke your nose. I saw one person very nearly with it cut off, and that was called ringing the bell.
The unit was named 11 Special Air Service Battalion. Commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Eric Down, set high standards.
By God, at the end of the 6 months, the battalion was absolutely unbeatable, and it was entirely discipline and fitness. And he ran them absolutely into the ground.
Okay, all arms course, listen in. Event 3 of test week, the log race. The log race simulates the movement forward of ammunition when heavy stores and ammunition are pushed off the back of a plane. Okay, we then have to go and retrieve them as quick as we can. The race is 2 miles and needs to see maximum determination, aggression and motivation throughout. Work hard.
Go, go, go!
On the log race, you just need to keep going. The logs start with between 7 to 9 men, and hopefully the logs will finish with a similar number. The moment you let go of the log, you're out of that particular event, you're off the race, and you won't score any points. It's seen as a key team event. People can't perform in a log race. Can we trust them on the battlefield? Your arm wants to drop off, your body's telling you to stop. You simply have to tell your mind to shut up, keep going forward.
Only one! Keep going! And four! We there, walking! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
In February 1942, 116 men set off on the Para's first large-scale mission. A nighttime raid behind enemy lines in Bruneville on the French coast. Their objective, to capture a sophisticated new German radar. They parachuted in darkness and quickly captured it. But getting out proved more difficult. They had to fight their way down to the beach to rendezvous with the Royal Navy. By the time the boats came, 2 were dead, 6 were wounded, and 6 missing. This film was shot by the Paras after the war. It's a recreation of their first battle honour.
We were all immensely proud that they'd had this very considerable success. That really was the first real moment that we could be proud to be Paras.
The success of this mission established the Paras' reputation for courage and determination. Thousands of new volunteers came forward, and in August 1942, the battalion became the Parachute Regiment.
Listen in! As I pass you, you will come together, toe to toe, nose to nose, eyeball to eyeball. Do you understand? Yes, sir!
Recruits are being psyched up for one of P Company's toughest tests. A form of boxing unique to the Paras. They call it milling.
Remember, this is not about how hard you can punch. It's about how hard you can take a hit and continue to move forward. That man in front of you is the enemy. 1 minute for your life, you will stand toe to toe and engage in hand-to-hand combat. Stand by. What's the benefit? Kill! What's the benefit? Kill! What's the benefit? Kill!
The recruits are instructed not to defend themselves. They win points only for the determination, courage and aggression of their attack.
Pin your ears back then, all arms, okay? Boxer stance, target area, okay? The face, that is where we're punching. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir! 1 minute of controlled aggression, determination.
Sit down! Get here, faster. Goes up, move! Come on!
Milling is very much a test of individual courage, simulating the situation where someone is required to look out of an aircraft door at night and throw themselves on order into the unknown. You have to suppress your natural fears, have the confidence in your own ability, the determination and, frankly, the courage to do what's required of you.
someone can't have their head up and look where the enemy is, they're frankly no use to us on the battlefield. So it's exactly the same in the milling room, courage in the face of adversity and looking the enemy in the eye. Well, for you two, draw!
If the recruits pass P Company, they'll earn the right to wear the regiment's maroon beret.
What we're going to do now is I'm going to teach you how to shake your beret should you be successful.
Before the final day, they learn how to shake their berets, even though some will never get the chance to wear them.
What I want you to do is just, when I say, dip the beret into the hot water, which is this side, and the cold water, then back into the hot water.
The maroon beret was introduced in November 1942 by Major General Sir Frederick Arthur Montagu Browning, known as Boy. He wanted to create a special sense of regimental pride.
Now, pull the excess over to the right-hand side.
The beret's maroon colour was chosen by Browning's wife, the novelist Daphne du Maurier.
Good. And take out your cap badge.
She picked it from one of the colours he used for his racehorses.
Place it so that the centre of the cap badge is in between the centre and the left-hand corner of his left eye.
The Maroon Beret is everything we strive to achieve, to become part of the airborne club, as it were. It's a dream I've had for a long time now, and it's a proud thing to belong to.
In 1944, the Paras spearheaded the liberation of occupied Europe. D-Day. They were part of a newly created division, the 6th Airborne. Its name was designed to fool the Germans. Rather than 6 divisions, in fact, there were only 2. The British would drop more than 7,000 men from the skies.
The men sling their explosives and weapons around them, get into their parachutes and explain. With their equipment and camouflaged faces, look like some strange creatures from another world.
The paratroopers were to land behind enemy lines in Normandy. Their role was to attack and hold bridges and artillery positions to prevent the Germans from attacking Allied forces as they landed on the beaches.